I guess you're saying, that was kind of quick. Yeah, it was because during the prayer warrior call, as Pastor Cotton was sharing with us, he began to talk about some things, and he was talking about how his mother would wash the clothes out in the tub, and I know what that's like or what it's about because I've been down to the south and seen those tubs out there and people washing the clothes in the tub, and then he would expound on and I could just visually see this because of knowing what it is like, and I could imagine what some people might be listening in might not have ever thought about this, but there was a time when people actually hung clothes up on lines outside. And when I was a kid and used to hang the clothes up outside on the line, it would pull the line down. And when it would pull the line down, you had to have a stick or something to stick in the middle of the line to prop it up, to hold the line up higher, because the line wouldn't look like it was drooping until you put the clothes on. When you put the clothes on with the clothespins, then it began to droop, and the sheets and everything, they might touch the ground. So you had these sticks around, and you would prop up the line and hold the line up. And Pastor Cotton began to talk about that, and I was just sitting and smiling and thinking about, yeah, oh, yeah, I remember all that. And then he spoke. He said, okay, well, I'm going to slow it down to 33 and a third. And he was speaking about, records. And I was thinking, oh, my goodness, how long has it been since I heard about a 33 and a third? What about the 78s? Those old discs that came out that used to run on 78 speed. And then the 45s with the big hole in the middle that you had to have the adapter for to put in there so it would go on the turntable and drop down on that little spindle and act like it was a 33 and a third or a 78 record running at 45. The things that technology has brought about so quickly. It seems like it wasn't even that long. And technology continues to grow, but at an astounding speed. Sometimes it's like things that came out last year are no longer it. Suddenly there's something else taking its place in months. But back in those days, when I was growing up, coming up as a child, we had a black and white TV, then we had a color TV, and it was not this fast pace. It was, maybe this year we had this, and a year or two we had that, and a year later this, or just different progressions, but very slowly, so that you could understand what each one meant. You could really enjoy each one. Nowadays, you get something and you can hardly even enjoy it before here's something better. It's just the technology. But I was reminiscing as I was listening to Pastor Cotton, and I was thinking about how, people used to have what we called consoles, console television. It was a TV in a huge cabinet, and in the cabinet where the television was there, and you would lift up a table on the top of it, and you would have the radio and the cassette player, actually an 8-track player. What's an 8-track player? Well, and no time to talk about an 8-track player, but you would have an 8-track player in there, and you would have your radio in there. And the bigger your console was, the better it sounded because you had big speakers in it, and everybody had to have a console TV. And I remember I had in my bedroom an old television that had doors on it. Okay, it was just a small TV, like a cabinet, and you would open it up, and on the inside there was a picture screen. Boy, the things that have changed so much. And nowadays we've got 50-inch, 72-inch, huge, humongous screens, almost like you're in a theater or something by the size of it. Amazing. Technology is good, but it has a place. It's good in its place. I rarely will watch TV because there's just so much on television. As I heard someone sharing today about how they heard something on television. And as soon as they say they heard something on television, I knew it couldn't be good because there's nothing good on TV. You may find something here and there if you're looking, but for the most part, the news is just negative. Sports are good, but they're just something to occupy your mind. I was a big sports fan, boxing and football, and me and my father would converse back and forth after games. It was like we had this connection. But then when I got busy doing something else, trying to help as many people as I could. I don't have time to do that. My father would call me up and say, "Hey, did you see the fight?" And I'm like, "What fight?" Sometimes he would call me up and remind me that the fight was on, and I might turn the TV on, but I would be so busy on the computer, texting, sharing opportunities, or sharing thoughts, or sharing ideas, I would just simply miss out, you know, just not hear it, not be paying attention. And when I realized that I wasn't really paying attention, I said, well, why even bother turning it on? So I rarely watch television. I think it was Cedric Harris that when he used to speak, he used to call it CNN, constantly negative news. And he called the TV an income reducer. And he was absolutely right, because when you sit down and you're constantly looking at TV and you're spending all your time with TV, that's all you know. And there's nothing really good coming out of it. That's why they call people couch potatoes, because they just sit around on the couch doing nothing. But once I got busy doing something for my life, well, I'm going to say that that's a signal to just come back later. God bless. Peace.